Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the North Dallas Plano Career Focus Group. It's March 6th, 2026. We're very glad you're with us this morning. Please note this event is being recorded and will be uploaded to the Career USA YouTube channel for others to view in the future. By participating, you give consent for your name and picture to appear. Please note that the comments you put in the Zoom chat window will not appear in the recording. Well, good morning, everybody. My name is Jeff Morris. Back in 2007, I started facilitating and leading the North Dallas Plano Career Focus Group. This group's been around since the late 1990s. I took it over in 2007 when the prior leader landed a job. In 2008, I started a website called careerdfw.org, a website to help those unemployed in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. In 2012, I launched careerusa.org a website to help those around the United States. I have written a book called What I've Learned About Your Job Search That You May Not Know. It is available on Amazon, or if you see me in person, I usually have copies with me. And since 2017, I've been a member of the practice interview team, also known as the PIC crew, and you'll hear more about them in just a few minutes. Our agenda this morning will start with success stories and then have everybody do their 30-second introductions. We'll have job leads if Tracy is with us from Thomas Edwards. We'll hear then from our committee reports, interview success workshop, the practice interview team, and the career tip of the week. And then our main event today, open forum about the top of the hour. Well, I'd like to start the meeting off with good news. Do we have any landings to report? Any good news to share out there? Going once, going twice? All right, we'll keep going here. All right, what we like for everybody who's online, if you will, open up the chat window. Go ahead and put in your name, the position you're looking for. Give us your email, your LinkedIn address, your phone and city if you'd like. Give us 2 or 3 target companies that we may be able to help you with. And then if you have companies that you have connections that you can help with somebody else, please list those so that we can get that information out to everybody. So everybody will get a copy of the chat window tomorrow, or I'll get a copy of the chat out to everybody tomorrow. So if you'll start doing that, that would be great. All right, if you're typing, keep typing away, get your information in there. So if you don't put any information in the chat window, you won't get added to the contact list, so we won't know you were with us today. So please be sure to put your information in the chat window. Okay, what we want to do now is get everybody's 30-second introductions who is here in the room. So if you will, just come on over, line up, and we'll let everybody do that. Yep. You're not on. There we go.
Can you hear me now?
There we
I
go.
think so. Hi, everyone. I'm a customer success. My name is Todd Haney. Let's start over. I'm a customer success and implementation specialist. I use data to uncover opportunities, strengthen relationships, reduce churn, and boost customer success. I've got a background in education, advertising, government, public relations. I need contacts at Cotality and Motorola Solutions. I have contacts through my association with the Association of Talent Development. I'm on the board here at the Dallas chapter. My name is Todd Haney. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Tim.
Good morning, y'all. My name is Tim Farrell. I'm an electrical design verification engineer. I need contacts at BAE Systems, Boeing. I also need a contact at L3 Harris, where I have an interview on Monday. I have contacts at Raytheon, and my name is Tim Farrell.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Good morning, everyone. My name is John Hamer. I'm a technical project manager with experience in telecom, networks, and aerospace and defense. I lead project teams, internal and external, in the deployment of systems and solutions that optimize companies' investments. My name is John Hamer.
John.
Thank you. Hi, good morning. My name is Elizabeth Blyce. I am a sound mixer, audio engineer. I also do some lighting and camera work for live event production and sports broadcasts. I need contacts at any radio company, news company, specifically CBS, NPR, Colorado Public Radio. I have contacts at Corey's Audio Visual. Sorry, I have contacts at Corey's Audio Visual and Sooner Vision. And again, my name is Liz Blyce.
Morning. My name is Mason Knight. I'm a post-production and editing consultant. I'm looking for contacts at either Texas Instruments or Interstate Batteries. I don't know any contacts I have at this moment. I'm a freshly graduate of OU. But yeah, my name's Mason Knight.
Thank you. Just fine. Yeah.
Hi, my name is Polly Dunn. I'm an senior administrative assistant. I specialize in office management, onboarding, and creating workflows that reduce stress and save time. I'm seeking companies where I can bring strong organization, professionalism, and help teams operate seamlessly. And again, my name is Polly Dunn.
Thank you.
Jeff went to the trouble of pulling this down so we could see her face, and I think I'm going to have to fix that. Hi, I'll try this. I'm Phil Elsner. I'm a PMP credentialed senior project manager. The folks here are not getting a good view, but those of you on camera can see who's here. Phil Elsner, let me know if I can help you.
Great. Thank you very much. I think it's everybody here. All right, we'll go. Let's have everybody online, if you will. Please raise your hand so I know to call on you. That'd be appreciated. Steve, I'll let you go first.
Sorry about that. My name is Steve Rowan. I'm a retired .NET developer. I've got contacts at Pfizer and the VA. I'm looking for contacts at Dr. Pepper. My name is Steve Rowan.
Thank you. Miguel.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Miguel Castillo. I am looking for a VP or director in finance, mostly in the financial planning and analysis space. Need contacts this week at Kimberly Clark and McKesson. And I have contacts at American Airlines. My name is Miguel Castillo.
Thank you. Sally.
Good morning, Sally Bennix. I'm a technical business analyst driving business value by connecting people, processes, and technology. I'm seeking contacts at the North Texas Food Bank, NTTA, or Jacobs. I have contacts at Wells Fargo and Texas Instruments. My name is Sally Bennix.
Thank you. Reagan.
Good morning, everyone. My name's Reagan Pace, and I'm actually a recruiter at Thomas Edwards Group. I work with Tracy Harris. So Jeff, you mentioned her. I'm just kind of here to meet folks and expand my network. Currently my role is pretty much helping with accounting and finance hiring needs for my clients in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. We do a little bit of HR and IT as well. I don't focus so much on the IT side. We do have a dedicated IT recruiter, but if I can be a resource for you, feel free to let me know.
Thank you very much. Sheldon.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Sheldon Weinstein. I'm based in Cincinnati, so outside the DFW market. I help food and beverage brands earn their place on grocery store shelves and win with shoppers. I've worked closely with national and regional grocery retailers around the country, helping teams connect strategy to execution and drive growth at retail. And my background's in scaling businesses in senior sales and commercial roles in both large public companies as well as private entrepreneurial organizations. And right now I'm looking to partner with mid-sized food manufacturers in the $200 million to $2 billion range where I can step in and quickly help accelerate growth. Again, I'm Sheldon Weinstein. A couple of companies that I've listed are Milo Tea, Amy Lou Foods, and Kevin's Natural Foods. Again, thank you.
Thank you. Andrea.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Andrea Brown, and I'm a director of IT for enterprise applications. I lead digital modernization in companies that optimize their efficiencies. I'm looking for contacts today at GE Aerospace or Signia Aerospace, and I can help with contacts at Parker Hannifin. Again, my name is Andrea Brown.
Thank you. Drew.
Hi, everyone. I'm Drew Puckett, and I'm seeking a marketing operations or data analytics position. At my past companies, I was known for attention to detail and critical thinking. And I am currently seeking contacts at Toyota Financial Services. I heard somebody landed there recently. And because I was at Intel so long, I still have some contacts there. And my name is Drew Puckett.
Thank you. Rosina.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Rosina Gallman, and I am your Career Tip of the Week host. So I'll be back in just a little bit. I'm looking for a position as a senior talent acquisition business partner or senior recruiter position. I need contacts at this week for a company called Access, AXXESS. And then I have contacts at a variety of different companies across the US. So as we connect, you can let me know if I need to give you an introduction. Again, my name is Rosina Gallman, Senior Talent Acquisition Business Partner or Senior Recruiter position. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Florence.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Florence Hogan. I'm a strategic market research and insights leader. I deliver actionable insights that enable leaders to take business strategy and turn it into market growth opportunities. My focus is in the life insurance industry and then also financial services. And so if anyone has any contacts in those, I'm not really targeting a company specifically this week, but I am pursuing opportunities within life insurance or financial services. So if you know of any opportunities, please reach out to me. Again, my name is Florence Hogan. Thank you.
You. Anybody else online who I didn't call on? Anybody else online? Going once, going twice? Up another Dipta.
Hello everyone, good morning. I just joined. So so my name is Deepa Dawadi. I'm looking for a job in the field of cybersecurity. I need contacts at any company that hire people who is trying to get into the field of cybersecurity, like cybersecurity analyst, SOC analyst, network admin, system admin type of job. Again, my name is Deepa Dawadi.
Great, thank you very much. Anybody else online? All right, job leads. Reagan, do you want to talk about what's going on at Thomas Edwards right now?
Well, we're very busy. We've got a lot of accounting manager and senior accountant opportunities. We have a couple finance manager roles that are moving. You know, kind of various things that they're looking for. Small companies, mid-sized companies. So definitely, if you got like an accounting finance background, you know, CPAs or any kind of certification like that, let me know. I'm also looking for an internal auditor for a client of mine in the downtown Dallas area. So if that's your background, please, happy to have a chat.
Great, William, thank you very much. John Benziski. I butcher your last name, John.
One day we'll get it, Jeff. One day. Thanks, Jeff. I appreciate you letting me come on here. Good morning, everybody. My name is John Machinsky. I'm the Director of Admissions at computerminds.com. And I wanted to talk about some free training resources that might be able to help you with your transition right now. At Computer Minds, we provide short-term certification training, and we focus on the information technology, networking, cloud, cybersecurity, project management, so the PMP, Six Sigma, Scrum. We've also got training for logistics and supply chain management and business administration around QuickBooks. And we're able to offer these services free of charge because we have a partnership with the Texas Workforce Commission and their WIOA scholarship. The WIOA scholarship is a funding program that pays for short-term certifications if you qualify for the program. Typical qualifications are usually around collecting benefits like unemployment or SNAP benefits. All of the counties in the Dallas-Fort Worth area all have workforce offices. Collin, Denton, Dallas, Tarrant, everything around this area has workforce offices. And the best part right now is they all have money and they're all spending. Just to give you an idea, the workforce office in the Plano, McKinney, Denton areas, they spend up to $15,000 per person for certification training. So if training and certifications is something that you've been looking into, but maybe you haven't had the resources or the time, this could be the opportunity for you. So if you want to learn more, my suggestion would be to go to my website, request information. There is a drop down for how did you hear about us? It's the Plano Career Focus is what we have it labeled as. If you pick that option, your information will come to me and then I'll be able to walk you through the process. I've been working with WIOA now for 14 years. I know their program. I know their process. I know all the players involved, so I can definitely help coach and help you navigate the WIOA funding. Jeff, I think you have some of my business cards there in the room with you, right? Yeah. So if you're interested, grab one of my business cards. If you're here online with me, I did just drop my contact information in the chat box. So you can go to my website, computerminds.com, or you can connect with me on LinkedIn and I can answer your questions and help walk you through the process. Thanks.
Thank you very much, John. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Interview success workshop.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. My name is Walt Glass, and what do? I'm a volunteer to help you reach your job in a shorter amount of time. And I focus on the part of the job search that I think is the most critical, and that's interviewing. We can do a lot of work on LinkedIn, our resume, networking, all that to get that interview, and we don't want to blow the interview. So how can I help you with that? Well, I do two things. One, I serve as a panelist on the pit crew, which you will hear about shortly. But I also offer the free interview success workshop. This workshop is a learning experience. It's not a mock interview. It's how we can approach the 12 basic categories of questions and look at strategies, structures, options, and being able to sell 3 elements. That's who we are, what we do, and how we can help. And so that QR code on the screen will start an email. Just fill in a couple of pieces of information and say, I'd like to get on the wait list, and I'll be glad to put you there. It's about a month out at the moment, so sign up now. If you get a job in between the time that you are registered and in between that, it's okay. You don't have to come to the workshop. It's all right. All right, so what I would like to let you know, though, you're going to get a video of your interview, but the interview is like this. It is a workshop. I'm going to actually let you stop and think of what you want to say in the workshop. And I don't have a stopwatch on how long that is. I want us to get into the habit of pausing and thinking before we answer. And so we can do that in the workshop and be fine. So you can start over. I mean, it's very informal. It's not, at all. And I call it learning without squirming. So as difficult as the interview may seem, it's towards practice that we should lean. And as a bright and shining sunbeam, we can land enjoying Krispy Kreme. I am Walt Glass.
Thank you. Thank you. Very nice. Krispy Kreme, very, very important. All right, the practice interview team meets in person right here in this room that we're at right now on the first, second, third, and fifth Wednesdays of the month from 1 to 3 o'clock. On the fourth Wednesdays, they're online only. That way, anyone around the country can join in and watch a practice interview. They usually schedule 3 interviews every week. And this is a great way to practice your interviewing. Don't wait until you actually have an interview scheduled. They like to say practice early, practice often. You can do it more than one time. We've had some candidates do it 6, 7, and 8 times. So, they really sort of perfect what they're doing. The nice thing about this is you'll get feedback. You'll be interviewed by 2 or 3 people who have hired people in the past. A lot of them are people who are in job search right now, but you will be able to get feedback at the end of the interview, the good, the bad, the ugly, on what you can, how you're doing. It's also really good just to come and watch somebody else being interviewed, because you will learn things from them. You'll jot down, oh, I love the way they said that. I got to jot that down so I say it that way in the future. So come join them every Wednesday, 1 to 3 o'clock, first, second, third, and fifth Wednesday of the month right here at Christ United Methodist Church. All right, time for the career tip of the week. Good morning, Rosina.
Good morning, again, Jeff, and good morning again, everybody. Happy Friday. All right, give me just a minute. And real quick, before I get started, Liz Blyce, I know you said you're looking for AV type roles. Take a look at Freeman Company. They have a complete division dedicated to audiovisual because they produce high-end trade shows and conventions. And then Polly Dunn, senior admin assistant. There are several positions out there that I've seen recently, but one was at the company Access, AXXESS. So take a look there. And definitely you guys connect with me. My eyes are always out there looking, so I'll definitely share any information I can find. All right. Now, going on to today's tip of the week. Basically following suit with what Walt said, it is critical to do well in your interview. So this week's career tip of the week is the top 5 mistakes that destroy otherwise strong answers. And last week we started a new series, and so this is the exact same link that was used last week to the article. It's by the interview guys, and it's the next section in the guide that I'm using. So like I said, the career tip of the week is the top 5 mistakes that destroy otherwise strong answers. So even experienced professionals stumble in predictable ways. And here's what to avoid. Mistake number 1, using industry jargon as a crutch. As a data analyst saying, I optimize ML pipelines for production deployments using Kubernetes orchestration, just communicated zero useful information to anyone outside tech. Why it fails? It shows you can't step outside your expert mindset. In real situations, this means confuse clients and fail projects. The fix to that would be every time you catch yourself using specialized terminology, ask, how would I explain this to my parents? Mistake number 2, focusing on process instead of outcome. I build complex Excel models with multivariable sensitivity analysis versus I help companies understand whether a major investment will really make them money. The second version works instantly. Everyone understands the value of knowing if an investment is worthwhile. The technical process is just the means to that end. Mistake number 3, going too generic or too specific. Either saying something so broad it's meaningless, like I help businesses grow, or diving into granular details that lose everyone, such as containerized microservices architecture with event-driven asynchronous processing. The sweet spot to that whole statement is be specific enough to be credible, but general enough to be understood. I build software systems that lead thousands of people to use an application simultaneously without crashing it. It hits that balance. Mistake number 4, forgetting to make it interesting. Even accurate, jargon-free explanations fail if delivered with zero energy. In 2026, enthusiasm matters. AI can generate technically correct explanations. What it can't do is convey genuine excitement about solving problems. If you sound like you're reading a job description, you're doing it wrong. And last mistake number 5, not connecting to the listener's experience. A cybersecurity expert saying, I'm basically a digital locksmith who makes sure only the right people can access important information, creates instant comprehension. Missing this connection is a massive opportunity lost. It's the difference between somebody nodding politely and actually understanding what you do. So I hope you guys enjoy this next section. Like I said, the career tip of the week is the top 5 mistakes that destroy otherwise strong answers. Have a fantastic weekend, everybody.
Thank you very much. All right. Just like to mention this once a month, the careerdfw.org and the North Dallas Plano Career Focus Group are 2 different organizations. The common thread is that I happen to lead both at this point. You're welcome to overthrow me here at any time, but you're not going to get Career DFW out of my hands. Career DFW is a 501c3 nonprofit organization. Everything I've done for Career DFW is a volunteer. I've never taken any money from the organization. All right, today for lunch, we're going to go to Jason's Deli, 4801 West Parker Road on the northeast corner of Parker and Preston. Come join us today. Ice cream is really good. What? No, we're going to go to Jason's today. I got to go check flying. There's a new place, Flying Fish, that just opened. I have to go check it out. All right, if you want to receive today's materials, please make sure that you have your contact information for those online in the chat window. For everybody who's here, please make sure you either check your name off on the roster or you filled out a little slip of paper. And if it's legible, I will be able to get you on the contact list. Last week, somebody gave me a slip and it is not legible, and I don't know what the person's last name is. So they're on the roster only with a first name because I could come up with that. So you'll get a copy of the link to the YouTube video that will get uploaded tomorrow. You'll get a copy of the career tip of the week that Rosina just read. You'll get a copy of the Zoom chat. So please let me know you're here, and that way I'll get the contact list updated. All right, our main event today is open forum. We're going to talk about whatever it is you want to talk about. So I'm going to stop sharing the screen here. And hopefully everybody, you will turn on your camera so we can see you. And what would somebody like to start our topics off with today? Here we go. Topic.
Thank you. This actually has to do with the first of 5 points that Rosina just read to us. The first one was avoid using industry jargon as a crutch. I don't know of any industry that doesn't have its own lexicon, its own vocabulary. Those of us who are technical get very deep into our own vocabulary, and the people interviewing us better understand what that is. I don't see any head shaking no in the room. I'd like to know if somebody has an opinion on how to use or avoid using jargon as a crutch instead of just as part of the conversation. Anybody have some ideas?
Okay.
So I think there's a fine balance between using some jargon. The problem is with getting too much jargon is you deal are often going to be deal with people on your interview panel who are just trying to interview you for fit and personality, and they may not know much about IT or accounting or what they know about their company. So if you can sprinkle it in enough without seeming to overwhelm them, sometimes that's a fine balance. If you get a feel when you introduce yourself about what those people do, you can kind of mentally assess, okay, how far do I go into the weeds with this versus not? That's my suggestion.
This is Sally online. You might enter if you accidentally drop an acronym or jargon, inject some humor in. Use it to lighten the feel of the room. Do a quick explanation of what you meant and move on.
This is Walt. If you are changing industries, it's critical that you know some of that jargon and you understand what it is so that you can talk their language. But in every case, you can overdo anything. And so you don't want to do that. But you really want to understand that industry, research that industry, and speak and talk like them, measure things the way they measure things, et cetera. On the other side of it, if you're just trying to say, I want to use words that I really don't understand so that it looks like I know what I'm talking about, then we're in trouble.
Yeah, I think the one adage I remember about people being interviewed, a guy was going to had a interview for a cruise company, and he called all the ships boats, and that's a major no-no in the cruise industry. They don't have boats; they have ships. So you got to make sure you're using the right technology, right terminology. Unless you're a submarine, okay. All right, what else can we talk about? Molly.
This is kind of different,
That's okay.
but it's about, okay, I've been doing this the new way, right? The backdoor way where you don't apply directly and you try to find the hiring manager and all that. So when I've been connecting, and sometimes these are connections because I've got over 500 that I haven't really talked to or I haven't really developed a relationship with, but they're people that I met in networking and so forth, right? So when I message them, and I've done the video resume, it's on my LinkedIn. I don't think anybody's really watching it. And so I've been sending it to various connections that I have, messaging them, saying, I am looking for such and such, and if you would mind, it's just 1 minute video, if you would watch it, and then if you know of anybody, and so forth. So the problem is, I'm not hearing back. And some of these are people that I connect with, have many times, in conversation, chatted with. And I'm thinking, okay, am I being, like the other social media where they just kind of don't post your things? Or I'm thinking, okay, I'm missing something. Something isn't right here. Any suggestions?
Suggestions?
I have questions for follow-up on that. This is Todd Haney. I am curious about people's success stories with video resumes. I've heard a number of people do them and be very excited about it, but I haven't heard anybody have any measured success. So I'm curious, just from anybody out there, have they heard or have they had any success with the short? Polly, was yours about 30 seconds long or 1 minute? If anybody's had any, felt like they've got any success or purchase with hiring managers.
Anybody using them?
I will say one thing. My name's Liz. Sorry. I work in the film industry and in live event production, so video sort of resume type things are really important for us. And I will say most of the jobs that I have gotten, I've gotten because of merit with other people, not necessarily because they're actually looking at the content that I've worked so hard to produce, which ends up being really frustrating. But I feel like most of that success comes from okay, well, show me a result that you've already gotten, not necessarily an overall what you can do, what you do on a daily basis. It's more so like, can you point to a specific thing? So if instead of sending a video resume, you send something that's like a success story of yours or something like that, I feel like that might end up getting you more results, more follow through. But in my experience, the reels and things that we send that are amalgamations of everything we've done tend to get overlooked and also tend to downplay the success of whatever projects we're working on. So, yeah.
I think it looks. Do you think it
Look,
looks
hold on.
Do you think it looks unprofessional to do that? To like send a message even to your connections and send the video instead of, really talking about what you're looking for?
I mean, I feel like it depends on your industry. Like for me, I think it's more professional sometimes to say, okay, I've looked at your company, I've seen the type of work that you do. Here's a reference that I think is similar because it shows that you really know the company that you're looking at. Like with my current position at Corey's, I was talking to the hiring manager and he was telling me the type of events that they put on because it's all live event production. And I was able to make connections between, oh, well, we do the exact same thing at this other thing I used to do. So it's the making connections of what they don't have to teach you and making connections of what you how what you've done in the past actually connects to what you're trying to do now. So I don't think it's unprofessional at all, personally.
And I think the other issue about video, anything, I don't open them on my computer. I'm not going to open up somebody's link. I don't care where it's at because I don't want my computer being get infected. So I think, some companies, if it's going to a company's email address, they may be stripping them out, and that's why they're not being individual people. Yeah, I don't know. I personally, I don't know, open them. That's just me from security. I'm just I don't want to be infected.
John Hamer, I was just going to say, Jeff just threw a big bucket of water on what I was going to say. So just like we talk about, you need to know what your target audience is and your industry. Like you folks are audio video, that's second nature, right? To what y'all do. Maybe to an accounting firm or something, I wouldn't. But actually, Trevor Houston, in one of his workshops that he used to do years ago, he was a big proponent of trying something different, something to differentiate yourself, something to stand out. So I didn't do a resume, but I actually did a quick video clip response to the hiring manager and to one other person that I interviewed with at Southwest Airlines, thanking them for their time in the interview, reiterated, like you would do in an email, and I still put some text in there, but I did it as a video clip. And it got some traction. I didn't get the job, but it did get some traction. I found out that they had forwarded that because in the tool, it shows you, it tracks the email responses and all, and it showed that they had forwarded it to like 8 people at the company. So it got some, so Southwest Airlines, I would do that. Other companies, you may or may not think that that would be a good idea, but I tried it once and it did get a lot of traction inside the company.
Yeah, I think that program's called Bomb or something.
That's it. Yep.
There's quite a number of them. I use Loom, but yeah, it's a video. Yeah, it's a video software, and it's super easy. You can do it on your phone, do it on your laptop, whatever. But
Okay. Anybody online had experience sending out video?
Hey, Jeff, it's Sheldon. I have not, but the one comment that I was going to say, at least from some large companies, they'll have filters that won't allow things coming in with skin tone that IT will have to approve, cleanse, and then release it. So again, for some candidates, interviews, especially if you're in film, might be natural, but at least from my experience in large consumer packaged goods companies, there's going to be blocks on it.
Right. Okay. Here we go. Another hand.
Thank you. This is Phil Elsner. I'm wondering about whether or not Polly was trying to send that as a group or if you were trying to send it to an individual that you know, along with a personalized message, asking them to do it. Because that could be the disinhibitor for me not trusting to click it.
These are people I'm connected to, and these are just individuals. I've never sent it like to a company's website or anything like that. No, I'm trying to connect with a person, that might let me in the door or be interested in me, one at a time.
Well, you said you weren't getting any. Have you gotten anybody to respond? Two? Okay. How many have you sent out? 30? All right. So 2 over 30 is a low hit rate. Yeah. Which says spend your time doing something different. Yeah, it's not working that well.
I would also say kind of just the psychology behind it. I feel like people don't respond because they don't know how to help, and they want to help if there's any way possible, but they just can't think of a way. It may be worth, instead of just seeing if they, and I don't know exactly what you're saying in your messages, but instead of just seeing if they've got any jobs or recommendations or anything like that, maybe trying to engage them by taking them out to lunch, and just trying to get to know them more on a personal level. And maybe at that point it can be easier to, identify how they can help you. That'd be my initial thought.
This is Phil. I'm sort of dovetailing on what you just said. If someone just wants something and is not willing, if they just want to take and not to give, obviously that's not a person that most of us want to be gravitating toward. And to try to, again, lower that barricade a little bit, instead of just that showing up one day, I would think that if you warm that relationship with some communications back and forth before you send that, of course, time is the big variable here. Do you have time to do that? But my own opinion would be if you can start a conversation, if nothing else, talk to them a couple times. If they can give you at least that much time, then you have an opening that could possibly be followed by, hey, I want to send you this video resume. What do you think about it? Ask them for their opinion as an evaluator. And that might open up something. Hey, I thought about this. Polly's looking for that. I might know this. That thought just came to mind. Gave me a headache.
You always want to be asking for advice and contacts. That's what you ask for people. You never ask for a job. You're asking for advice and contacts. I know the first job I had, well, when I moved from Louisville, Kentucky to Rochester, New York, it was my 7th degree connection that got me the job. First talking to second, to on third, fourth. Who do you recommend? Who do you recommend I talk to? It was number 7. So, back then I kept track of that kind of stuff.
5, 6, and 7. Yeah.
So you just never know. Advice and contacts, keywords. All right, what else can we talk about? What else would you like to talk about?
So I kind of wanted to ask everybody how to go about applying for a very specific company. Because for me personally, I have a very specific thing that I want to do, and it requires Colorado Public Radio to look at me and say, okay, yeah, she has a creative mind. So I kind of wanted to ask questions about that, especially when a position is not open necessarily at that company. How would you go about talking to them and just feeling out how you could potentially create that track for yourself?
This is John Hamer. Research, research, research. Follow them on LinkedIn. Go find them and follow them, because the statistics are out there that you're 20% more likely to get hired by a company, so they'll see you're interested. Use AI a lot. Go and you can ask AI to go and give you, the top 10 things, about the company, do some research. You could do it on your own, obviously, but AI is a great, Chat GPT. I've used that a number of times. And just, yeah, follow them on LinkedIn and then research the company and find out who works there and start reaching out to those people and and see if there's somebody who knows somebody that can introduce you to someone inside the company. We're talking about second and third. I was telling Walt about a contact that I've got a third degree right now that I'm working on, that I'm contacting from somebody who knew somebody who knew somebody. And then I'm helping him he's a sales guy, and I'm helping him contact somebody else. But that's my recommendation is do a lot of research, use ChatGPT, and follow them on LinkedIn.
Hi, it's Phil. It seems like if you're following somebody, just again, dovetailing on what John just said, if you're following somebody, excuse me, that seems to me like you've built at least one kind of relationship. People that you're following may be, probably because I've never been at a high enough level in a big enough company, but I don't know if they've got time to be flattered. But if so, then, hey, I follow you. I'm really interested in what you said yesterday about XYZ. And I'd appreciate it if you give me, again, ask for information, just like Jeff said a moment ago. But following somebody as a way to get a foot in the door to possibly start building a relationship.
Comment on their posts on LinkedIn. Turn the bell on and sorry. One more comment. So just following them is only a part of it. Also, when they post things or they have news events or events about the station, comment on it, and don't just hit like, and don't just hit, actually do a thoughtful. This isn't because I'm so smart. This is what the people are teaching me. But do some insightful comments, something about the industry or something about their company. Hey, I noticed that you did this or this, this resonates with me because, so you can really start to work your way in, and it works pretty fast too. It's pretty effective.
Yeah, by commenting on somebody's post, they'll tend to connect with you if they really like what you talked about, and you can start to build that relationship. Terry Sullivan talks about that all the time.
Hey, Sally, and maybe I misunderstood part of the question, but I think you were asking how you show you're innovative, right? How you're creative. And so if you want to show that you're creative, I think one of the things that you need to do, I mean, you were talking, there was a little bit of discussion on having videos and so things like that, or the use of AI in certain comments and responses could actually be of help. There is Steve Stanton. You should, kind of look at his page. Obviously, very different. He's a banking kind of person, mostly in finance, but he uses AI and makes all sorts of stories that will try to build his brand, but they're all based on AI. Some people might not like it, some people might like it, but he's clearly getting attention. And now, that's where a finance, guy in banking, but for you, clearly, I think that would show that you're creative. So videos, use of AI, etc.
And you can even post a new article. Find something, there's a website called feedly.com, Feedly. And you can say, you're looking for articles on a certain topic. If it's a topic that you're really interested in, then copy that URL, go to LinkedIn, post it, and then you can tag people too. So you can go and list people that you want to see it, so it'll show up on their profile when they look at, and it's a way to generate some more interest.
Hey, Todd Haney again. I am curious, you kind of dealing with a geographic disadvantage in Colorado, and it's Colorado Public Radio, right? How familiar are you with that market? How often do you get up there? Okay. Well, I mean, that definitely they're going to see you're in Texas and definitely show your interest and your knowledge of the area. And if you can as John was saying, make those connections and build that. At that point, maybe you can schedule some coffees or whatever. But if you're up there, you know, it would be important in your communication to tell about your link to the area so they understand this is going to be a fruitful conversation. Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else?
I mean, I have a question on a different topic.
Different topic? All right.
That's okay.
New topic.
Yes, a new topic, if I may. Tim Farrell. So my question would be, you make applications online, you don't hear any response for a few days, then you get a response and they say, gee, we'd like to interview you. And then so you need to get back with them and schedule an interview. How long should you take to immediately get back to them? My feeling is if you get back to them in 5 minutes, you sound too desperate. So my rule of thumb has been wait at least 4 hours, no longer than 24 hours to get back to them. I'd welcome any feedback.
Interesting. Okay. Good question.
I will say I hate playing that game. I feel like that applies to like social relationships as well. If you're like texting somebody to go hang out and they're not getting back to you for 3 days and then you get back in 5 minutes, like it does seem a little bit desperate. I will like appeal to that sentiment. But when it's a company, I mean, the way that I got my current position at Corey's, they took what, 3 months to even act like they wanted to schedule an interview with me. And then in scheduling the interview, we're taking a couple days at a time to respond. But I had to come at it with a humble understanding that what they're dealing with is a lot larger scale than what I'm dealing with. I have more time on my hands to say, okay, I'm ready for my interview. This is the day that I'd like. This is why I'm interested, XYZ, so on and so forth. They are getting back to like 200-300 people at a time, depending on how big the company is, depending on who they're looking at. If you're taking too long to respond, or if you're playing that delay game, it can sometimes come off as if you don't actually care as much about the company as some of these other applicants that are going to respond in 5 minutes. So even if it is desperation, desperation comes from a place of, I'm really excited to work with you sometimes. So it just depends on, again, like something we've been talking about constantly is target audience and knowing the company that you're looking at. So that's my input.
Good.
I would love to have that dilemma. As a job seeker, I think it's the way you put it in a context or something. Number one, if you don't respond fairly soon, that's going to be very negative. So we all kind of agree to that. And so what is that time frame? Number two is if you wait an hour, they say, oh, we've already got enough people. Because everybody else has jumped on it and they're in there very quickly. Or if it's something, generic, but if it goes out to, you specifically, but you see that thing and it's, oh, your notice or something caught my eye right away. This looks really great. I would love to talk to you. And you put some energy in those words coming back to say, I'm really excited to. And so that's exactly what you're saying. I'm just parroting what you're saying. And you show that. I mean, I'd say if you want to take a risk, I would take the risk on going sooner and go ahead and go in 5 minutes. I mean, just go ahead and do it. And if it says, but you don't show desperation in the words that you go back to. What you show is interest in the company, interest in them, and that sort of thing. So let that to be the driving force, not the fact that I got to have some money to buy food.
Anybody else have any other comments online?
I would just say I agree with Anu had just made a little thing saying that, hey, I think it's better to reply sooner. You don't want to lose the opportunity. I think definitely better to respond quickly. Recruiters and hiring managers typically are gauging desperation in how you carry yourself in the interview, not in an email and responding quickly to scheduling an interview. I mean, you respond quickly, typically that's just conveying enthusiasm and interest in the opportunity. At least that's my perspective.
Okay, thanks. Anybody else?
I guess the other thing that I would add is that, I would be of the opinion of like definitely same day, and maybe not the talent acquisition person, but the manager, is dealing with the regular job. So it's not going to notice whether you responded in 5 minutes or 2 hours, more likely than not. And if they do, it could be because now you are in a phase where you're actually one of those few that are in the second, third round, or whatever the final round. And at that point, you want to show your interest.
If anybody ever wants to schedule you, this is a little trick I've used. Anybody ever wants to schedule you for an interview on Wednesdays at 1 o'clock, say, I'd love to come, but I've got another interview scheduled that day. Can we make it another time? That way, I mean, you're just coming for a practice interview, but they don't know that. And now they think, oh, somebody else wants you too. I want to make sure I get you. So I've used that a few times and it's pretty effective.
So Jeff, this is Alkeisha online. This seems to be in line with the idea of putting the green banner in your LinkedIn profile. Some people see it as a level of desperation, but it's again showing interest, and I see it as a reflection of the energy you bring. So if you see that desperation, you'll behave desperately. But if you see it as an opportunity to let them know that you're interested, that you're excited about the role, then it'll come across that way. And yes, it's like dating too. You don't want to respond 5 minutes in to show desperation, but then again, how many inquiries did that person send out? And if you're interested, let them know. Heck, what do you got to lose?
Yeah,
My 2 cents and I expect change.
You want that open to work banner on there because less than 50% of recruiters pay for the recruiting package if you only open it to recruiters only. And if your contacts happen to see, oh, I didn't know Sally's out looking for a job right now, let me reach out to her. So, let as many people know that you're looking. And the most important thing is if you're going to do that, make sure you've got your phone number and your email address in your about section, because I look up people all the time on LinkedIn who are looking for a job and there's no contact information. If I'm not a first degree connection with you, I can't see your contact information. So be sure to put it in your about section.
And just a tip on dating. Dating response is directly proportional to how much money they have.
That was Walt, by the way.
Nice Walt.
So Walt, how do you know how much money you have?
He's dating up. I've met his girlfriend.
All right now.
What's that?
Information.
Informational interview, absolutely. I think that it might be very well received if you say something along the lines of, I'm really glad I was at my computer when I saw your communication. I'm really hoping we can get together sooner rather than later. To me, that doesn't sound desperate because you're saying, I felt excited or happy that I was online at the time you tried to contact me. So I'm reaching back as quickly as I can. And I'm Phil.
Sitting next to Walt. Okay. What else can we talk about? Tim, that was a good question.
It's really the car they drive. That's how you.
Oh, the car they drive. Okay.
Hey, this is Sally online. I would, as an introvert, I would like some tips on gaining courage to do cold calling and not being afraid of the phone.
Years ago, we had a good speaker who would come and talk about call reluctance. And I can't think of the guy's name. I reached out to him a few years ago and he said, I've retired. I'm not doing it anymore. But his little trick was he always had a rubber band on his wrist. And whenever he wanted to, he would snap it whenever he was going to do something. I mean, whenever he thought about something he didn't want to do, he'd snap it so that it's sort of like, oh, well, if I don't do this, that's painful. So I want to make those phone calls and get out there. I haven't found a good speaker to talk about call reluctance in a while, but
I'm trying to remember who it was, but He told us all when he was a guest here about a very small, interesting book. The author's name is Brian, Brian, Tracy, Tracy. And the book is called Eat That Frog. Has anybody heard of it? The idea behind it is if you have your choice between starting to work on getting work or eating a live frog, which is the lesser of two evils? The book is pretty cute. You might enjoy it.
Please.
Either way is fine. Okay. I will say I also struggled that for quite a while. I was very introverted, and as now a reformed introvert who has no problem apparently speaking to random people. I think a big part of that actually made it better for me was going out and intentionally doing things by myself. Like things that you would not usually do by yourself. Like, yes, I'm gonna go eat dinner at a restaurant and sit down and not be on my phone and be fully present in the moment. And that helps in every other area of your life. It helps in interviews because you're more comfortable with yourself. It helps in cold calling because, again, you're more comfortable with yourself. But also, it just doesn't seem as scary. Because, like, what's the worst that can happen? You cold call and they tell you no, okay, you're back at the same place where you were at before. So, who cares?
One thing that I would add is I think introverts are good when things are structured. And so preparation helps a lot. And I do think that if you have, I guess the other part, so that's one thought. The other part is if you have a plan in your calendar for the week and you have a number of things that you want to accomplish, those things that we can control, and in that plan there's 5 calls or request for a number of informational sessions, etc. And you have a framework for what you're going to be telling them or asking them, that certainly will help. I'm not an introvert, but one of the things that I don't like, and it makes it more difficult, at least during job search, is I don't like to be asking for things, right? I would not be a great salesperson. I'm in finance. And I think that it was mentioned before, I think it was Jeff, if you have a call and you are there, A, not asking for a job, but asking for advice, and B, kind of offering things that you can do for them, then the conversation changes and it's not as difficult, right? You're not just there to ask for definitely not a job and just for their advice and maybe connections, but you're also kind of offering something. Probably they will not take your word on connecting with your network or whatever you offer to them, but it will make you feel good and you'll have a different perspective all throughout the conversation. That is actually very true also when you are in-person networking. Like if you go to a professional group, and let's say everyone has a job. So it's great to go to those places because everyone has a job. And so as good as it is to join, focus groups like this one with everyone is looking for jobs, it's also good to be with people that do have a job because then they probably have connections directly there. But you might not feel like you're fitting in, right? Because everybody has a job. No one is asking for anything, but you feel like you're asking for like, hey, get me a job, get me a job. Well, again, don't do that. Just go there, have your outline of what you're going to be discussing. And there are some presenters that have that. And I'm sure that Walter, Jeff, could point to some of the presenters that actually talk about this topic. But the other one is go there thinking that you are going to offer a particular thing to them.
I've never heard the term reformed introvert. We don't need to make extroverts out of introverts in job search. introverts can do very well and do things very well as well. So networking 101, when you're all reluctant to make that call, my question to you is, are you interested in that person you're going to call? Do you have something about them that interests you? Because networking starts with them, not us, right? And so my questions are just simply say, well, I saw this and then I'm very excited, but interested in what you have to do. And I wanted to talk to you, about that. And so you let them talk about themselves, which is a very easy conversation to have. And almost invariably, they'll come back to us and say, well, what is it for you? Say, well, and then here's my situation and this sort of thing. And do you know anybody who, or nobody who knows somebody, and you start making those connections, through that. But you've built the relationship first before you go to the second step. And so it's easy to build a relationship. Just ask them about themselves. Who doesn't like to talk about themselves, right? And Jeff mentioned that keyword advice. How many times have you asked for advice in your career? Rare. And when you are, doesn't that make you feel good? Right? So, and if you're truly interested in them and what they have, then it doesn't matter whether you're introvert, extrovert, or whatever. You start out with that side of things, then it will come back. And then you end back with, I'm just repeating, and then what can I do for you? How can I help you? What is it that I can do? That has to be genuine and authentic. And if that's not genuine and authentic, if you don't really want to do that, then you're just using the words, that's not going to work well. But you get more help when you help others. And so that's where it starts. And that's where you build a relationship. It's easy.
Anyone else?
Thanks, Walt. Good to hear your voice.
All too often.
All right, what else can we talk about?
Hi, this is Todd again. Way off topic. Hey, I see a few folks I recognize. Nice advice, Miguel. Here's a question. I have been focusing on networking, but I've had a few people direct me to Texas Workforce Commission. I'm still focusing on networking, but just to throw this out there for discussion, has anyone successfully used or had a positive experience dealing with Texas Workforce Commission?
Anyone?
For what?
Oh, Bill just asked the operative question. And how long ago? How long ago was it?
Well, in dealing with them for what? For what reason?
I think in your job search, right? Or anything, right? I mean, and networking, job search and all. So one of the things that will make you bonus points when you're filling out your biweekly contacts and all, if you have logged into workintexas.org.com, yeah, that's a big plus. You'll pass a lot of scrutiny, if they decide they need to audit you or whatever. I've heard that and read that in multiple places. So make sure that that's one thing that you're doing is logging into there. I have found the counselors there to be extremely helpful. They want to help people. That's what they get paid for. Okay. But they truly, I made a couple of good contacts there at the McKinney office, and that's been quite a few years ago. So I haven't been in there since this latest round of job search, but that's been my experience.
What if you're not on unemployment?
Oh, I don't. Well, I don't know if you can use that office if you're not on unemployment. That's a great question. Okay, I got to open that up to the room. Because, yeah, if you're not on unemployment, can you use the Texas workforce? I would imagine that you could set up an ID and get into workintexas.com. Yeah.
Yeah, and I recommend that website because I know when I was looking for somebody, my boss gave me credit card, said go and get a job ad on Monster, and paid $600 or whatever for that. And every person that saw that ad, they just wanted where you're located at. It wasn't a matter of where you want job at. They want to know where we were located. But work in Texas, I actually found that's where I actually hired people off of because I thought it was a better website. for job search.
So here's the assignment. Somebody has to network into Texas Workforce Commission and find out. I've also heard that some offices are much stronger and better than other offices. And so you might ask for people who have used the unemployment offices, what was their experience, so that you might be more selective in a particular office that you go to. But what would be the problem of just going down to the office and say, hey, I'm looking for some advice and some help, with job search, and I'm not on unemployment. Do you offer anything? And just ask them, or call them and ask them. But pick the office. Look, I would suggest you try to pick the office, because some people are willing to help and that's what they want to do. And so maybe not fit the rules, but they still could get some service.
I'll tell you from just history, from what I've been doing, that Texas is broken up into 28 different workforce offices. Dallas County is one, Tarrant County is the second. The North Texas one is the 7 surrounding counties around Dallas and Tarrant County. Dallas County has always been a very weak TWC office. Tarrant County has been great. In North Texas has been Plano, McKinney offices have always been very good. I've found very helpful to help people. So,
And if it's convenient from a location, they just opened up a brand new office in Garland. The old one was really small. I went there, 40 years ago or something, almost literally. But they just within the last week or so opened up a brand new office, Texas Workforce Commission office in Garland. I don't know where exactly it is, but
yeah, you do not need to go to your local office. You can go to any Texas workforce office in the state and get help.
You have to be a Texas resident.
Yep, probably.
Liz, are you Texas?
I was also wondering about zip codes and the location of the the commission offices. The Plano office is in a very industrial area, where last time I was there, the McKinney location was more in a business complex. Don't know. I mean, it makes a difference with Walmarts, not necessarily workforce commissions.
You can go to whatever one is convenient for you. And if you want, try them all out. Just go from one to the other to the next. Try them. Kathy, I see your hand up.
Yes. Are we talking about Work in Texas or Texas Workforce Commission? Because, I just got something from Work in Texas this morning with a bunch of jobs in it. But if they even have the word writer in the name, they're going to send it to me, which has nothing to do with technical writing. Right. The ones that were related to technical writing, they won't tell me who the company is. So I think anybody can use Work in Texas, but I question its value. And another thing we need to know is that on either October, I think it was October 1st, an entirely new contracting company took over all of the stuff at TWC. So the people that you dealt with a year ago aren't there anymore. Just FYI.
Everywhere?
Is it interesting?
Do they
Yes, they lost the company that had the contract, lost the contract, and they hired a new contracting company.
Yeah, they might have kept the same people in the offices. New company.
You never know. Yeah.
Most of them didn't. They all had to re-interview for their positions.
been there.
Exactly.
All right, what else can we talk about? Yes.
Sorry, I know I've talked a lot, but this is something I've struggled with a lot recently. A lot of the jobs that I'm looking at are wanting more experience than I have. I'm 21, fresh out of college, early grad. So I'm not going to have the 10 years of experience to get a job the same way that some older people would. So how would you go about getting past that barrier and either gaining more experience or getting the job anyway?
Volunteer. There's I can't remember the name. I'll have to find the name of the company that matches volunteers with companies with nonprofits that need help. Find those nonprofits that need your type of work. I mean, there a lot of them are looking for accountants and videographers, social media help, all kinds of things that builds your portfolio.
It's Phil. What types of, if any, what types of work experiences have you had, paid or not, that can show somebody that might want to hire you that you've already done some of the things they're going to need you to do? It doesn't have to be a paid situation. She's totally right. Volunteering. I mean, we're here to help at no pay. If you've done volunteer work before, or if you've done for hire work before, that's relevant. Relevance, I think, is a word that Walt and everybody else is going to be banging on a lot because it is important. Have you done the kinds of things that I need done at my place if I'm considering hiring you?
This is Miguel again. I think the market is not very helpful right now. As in, I think that companies can be a little bit more picky right now, and they want probably more of the boxes checked. But having said that, I think that you should have some stories where you have learned some. I mean, everything that we do at some point we didn't know, right? And we learned, those skills. And so you should have some stories of like what you have done in order to learn certain things that, and the more relatable to what the gap is to the position that you're, applying to, the better it is. And so that should help hopefully the HR person or the manager, the hiring manager, understand that you have that level of curiosity and ability to learn, and that should help you bridge that gap. Now, I think in some presentations or something where I read, it clearly says that men tend to apply to more positions where there are some gaps to what is required in the job description, and women tend to think twice about applying. And so I don't know if it was like, men apply even if they have only 6 of 10, requirements, and women only if they have 8 or 9 of the 10. But there is something that I think you should not be afraid and just apply, and hopefully your cover letter, or if you have an ability to talk with the HR people, again, that you try to show how you would close that gap.
I apologize. I didn't hear the industry you're in.
It's in the film, radio, television industry.
Radio, television.
Thank you. I was thinking that maybe if you have a college project that you worked on that you could use as a showcase.
Yeah. And I think enthusiasm is very important. You may not have the experience, but if you're enthusiastic and you're a problem solver. Company's got a problem, they're hiring somebody because they have a problem. How can you solve their problems? And just to come out and say, what kind of issues you're having? What kind of problems can I solve? You're just showing that enthusiasm.
This is Walt. There's a couple of approaches in job search in general. One is responding to, applying to some job that's posted. The other one is to find out what a company needs and how you can help them. And here's a thing. Companies are always hiring. They always have needs. I mean, I was working for a company and we froze hiring, and we hired 70 people that month. Okay. And the president's saying, I thought I froze hiring. Well, there's still needs. And so the story of Jared Asplund, who wanted to work for Lockheed, got the job and his manager said, you weren't the best candidate, but your company knowledge was far and above, everyone else. And that's why we hired you. And I go back and say, well, they did hire the right person. All right. Because that weighed more than that. So if we network in, we go in, we talk to a company, find out what's going on, what's happening and whatever it is. And maybe they will morph into an interview or whatever. But the idea is find companies that hire entry-level people. Some companies have programs and they're hiring people right out of college. All right. And they're looking for that. And that may be a way to accomplish that. But if you can go in and get to talk to somebody, and I'm going to repeat what just was said earlier, is that your enthusiasm and your energy for that company and for that job is far and above the strongest differentiator than all the rest of the candidates. You were the only person that showed any enthusiasm for the job. And that was Brian's story. When he got it, he said, why'd you hire me? He says, you're the only person that showed any excitement and energy about the job. All the candidates can do it. So what's that differentiator? And so that can get us in the door. So we're willing to bring you in. I want you because of who you are and your approach and all that. And we can help you. We'll help you come along for the first time, something like that. So do not limit yourself to what's on, the jobs that are online. The second comment is, what should I apply to? The required section of a job description is also based on their salary range for that job. The nice to haves is not included in that salary. So if you have some of the nice to haves and not as many as the required, that still may be a good reason to go ahead and apply for that job, because I have a lot of those. So can you learn the others? Talk intelligently about the things that are gaps. Learn how to talk intelligently about those items that you don't meet, where you don't go in and say, well, I haven't had this experience. But I said, well, I know this about that, and I heard about this, and I learned about this, and so a focus, you can talk intelligently about them. So it's just like, hey, I'm not ignorant here. I know what I'm getting into, what I'm interested in, what I'd like to do and grow into. So that's my thoughts.
I know Jared, he was intense. And the interviewer actually said, you know more about my company than I do.
Yeah. One comment. When I came out of college, for me, it was the college placement office. I don't know if that's very helpful anymore, but, I would, if that is a resource for you, I would say exhaust it as much as you can until they kick you out of there. But that's just my opinion.
Well, alumni offices are great because, if you can make contacts, especially on LinkedIn, anybody else who's also graduated from the same college, you can use that as a connection request.
Schools have statistics on graduates that get hired.
Hi, it's Phil. Liz, forgive me for not remembering. You were the first person in line, I think, to give your bio this morning or up there, and I hadn't even opened up my my paper yet. I understand that you're the general arena that you're looking to work in. I don't remember what specific roles would be good for you, given your experience and your education. If you started a job tomorrow, what would you be doing?
Mason's looking at me funny because he knows that this is a long answer. Um, so I have a lot of experience in creating films, writing, and doing a lot of the behind the scenes, more technical work specifically. I work in sound. That's my main thing that I do, which is kind of why the radio makes sense for me because it's all sound. I don't have to worry necessarily about video most of the time. What I would be doing at the Colorado Public Radio right now, if I got the job tomorrow, would be I would be board operating. I'd be operating a soundboard for a radio show, or I would be mixing sound for any of their podcasts, any sort of YouTube channel content that they do, which I also have skill enough to make YouTube channel content, and I have done it before. So I have all of those skills ready. It's just that they want people who have more years of experience doing that than what I have, which is the problem that I'm continuously coming across. I've applied for the Colorado Public Radio no fewer than 10 times. I've got rejected every time. The most recent rejection letter I received said, Liz, we see you. like, we know you're there. We have nothing for you right now. So I've at least cracked into the door. It's just a matter of getting them to understand that even though I may have 6 years less experience than they want, because I do have 4 years of experience throughout school working sports broadcasts doing audio, but they just want those 6 more years and they seem really insistent on it. So that's really what I'm trying to break down.
So, are there event companies locally that you could DJ an event or provide the best service? Because that's going to give you a plethora of people, both from the event coordination and the people that are part of the event that might build you into building your own company,
Yeah,
starting
so
your own company and being a freelancer.
I am a freelancer already. I have been freelancing 50 hours a week pretty much for the most part for since halfway through February. I do freelance sports broadcasting and freelance live event production, both on audio side and doing lighting and camera. So that's the thing. Like the experience is being gained. It's the time track as well, because it's just not happening as quickly as I would like it to.
Well, companies don't move at your speed. They move at their speed. It's never.
But why not?
Never the same. We want it now. Where else could you work?
I would send them back and said, I'm going to contact you again on 11th time, just in case things change.
Until they get the restraining order, you just keep after them. You don't stop. Okay.
Hey, recently Foster held a webinar with HR people, and on that call there was a lady who was in your field, and I can't remember her name, but if you know Foster, he might be able to recall and help you with the name.
So reach out to Foster Williams. You'll find him on LinkedIn.
Is that the lady that does the event planning? Long blonde hair. She's just signed up as. Is that the lady that does the event planning? She's worked in the.
No, she's
No.
radio TV. She's out in, I guess she's in LA, but
Oh, okay.
movie TV, and she's really ready to change industries.
Hey, Liz, I checked. I don't know if she's on LinkedIn, but her name is Brenda Dominguez. But reach out to Foster Williams. I do remember that now. Yeah.
What's the young lady's name? Young lady, what's your name? The radio person.
My name's Liz.
Just Liz? Just what you go by?
Yeah, I go by Liz. Last name Blice, Blice.
Blice. And you're in LinkedIn under Liz Blice?
I am.
Okay, I'll get you in touch with Brenda.
Thank you.
You're welcome. This is Alkeisha Rodriguez, by the way.
Thank you, Alkeisha.
All right. What else can we talk about? Anybody online have a question? Half of you don't have faces, but that's okay.
Question on a new topic.
Okay, new topic.
New topic. This is Tim Farrell. I'd be curious to get any expertise response on this, which would be, you're seeking a job, you get a job offer, and they are offering a salary of X. At least for speaking for myself, I probably would rather get more than X. How much more do I dare ask for? My thought would be a maximum of 20% more than X, but obviously you don't want to ask for too much. I'd be curious on any response, or is there a rule of thumb for this?
Where are you in the process?
I mean, for this question, I would be in the process. For this question, I would hypothetically be in the step of the process where I have a written job offer that, it's a job I really want, and they are offering a salary of X, and it's the job title I want, everything else I like about it. I just rather get more than X, and, I want to do a counter offer. How much do I dare ask for?
A lot of people's concern about asking for more is the fear of an offer rejection. They'll come back and withdraw the offer. Okay. And so my suggestion to you is to say, is that negotiable? All right. Is there any room for that? Now, that depends on who you're talking to. Also, if you're talking to a recruiter for that particular job, as opposed to the one who actually sets the range or the amount, the recruiter might be able to help and do that, because I've heard where somebody said this is their BAFO, it's called the best and final offer, or they expect you to come back with another offer and they expect you to negotiate with that. So find out if it's even negotiable at all. Secondly, if that step in the process, have you analyzed everything that you want in your job? Have you analyzed your benefit package? Have you analyzed all the stuff that, can also mean monetarily, how it turns into that? And just say, okay, maybe I'll take another couple of weeks of vacation, or maybe I can take a bonus, or maybe I can take something else, in order, to do that. And so what are your options with that? The main thing about negotiation on my side of it, and you can find a lot of people that talk about negotiating, is know what you want, what's important to you, what's your priority, so that you know what you can give up and what you don't want to give up, okay, to go into that. Because generally, my guideline is you want to trade money for money. You don't want to trade time for money or something like that. But if you have the idea and said, all right, is there opportunities for bonuses or when is when would be the first time I could possibly get a raise? I mean, how do you handle raises? And so I took a job, and in 2 months they transferred me into another group, and the other group's average salary was more than my salary that I was making in my first role. All right. And I said, well, how come I'm not making as much money, And he says, well, I can't give you a raise. You have to show me you can do something, and I can write up a write-up that says is what you produce and all that. So it took me 2 years to get to their salary in that. But those are the things that you can look at. What are the opportunities for, so that you can then make a decision on, is this going to get me in the door? This is more important. I'll take that. Or is it, I can't eat if I take this amount of money? All right. So just in general, I don't think I've told you anything you don't know in general. But I see most of the time, most people are not prepared to negotiate and not prepared to respond to an offer. So do your prep.
Yeah, I think before you get to that, before you get to, they give you an offer, you need to research, when you're researching the company, you need to research that what is salary.com, what is the Bureau of Labor Statistics saying that a job in this area for this type of position should pay a range of X to Y. And as long as that fits what you want, you're in good shape.
Generally, at the offer time, you should ask for a copy of the handbook or the benefits package, and you should get a copy of all of that so that you can evaluate all those things. And so if they don't provide it to you, definitely request those.
Yeah.
Didn't the government just pretty much eliminate BLS?
And you do what?
Didn't the government just pretty much eliminate Bureau of Labor Statistics?
You mean by salary people?
Well, somebody said, did BLS get eliminated by the federal government? The data is probably all still out there, though.
I'll have to check on that.
It'd be interesting to check into. All right, what else can we talk about?
I have a question similar to that. I think I don't know if this is ever really a true thing, but when you sign on and there's a differential in what they're offering versus what you want, is there a way to put it in a contract that you grow X% in 6 months or 1 year?
You can always ask for it. You never know if they're going to do it or not. Most companies are not going to change their contract around, but whatever you do, you want to make sure that you do it not with HR, but you do it with your hiring manager. your salary negotiation needs to be with the hiring manager because that's the person that wants you. HR is just filling out the paperwork.
If they state that verbally, then definitely get it in the contract. Say, yeah, we'll give you a raise in 6 months. It's okay. We'll put that in the contract.
Okay, what else can we talk about? In a couple weeks, we'll have Steve Zipkoff here, and he'll talk about how he talks about salary, asking for salary.
Asking for salary? Zip's tips, right?
Yes.
I've heard from everybody in the room today, except Mason. Can you tell us something about what you're looking for? How can we help you?
Mason Knight. Unlike Liz, who has been very specialized, I went to Liz. I went to school with Liz. We met in the creative media production program at Gaylord School of Journalism. I kind of stayed very generalist. I've always been in post-production, but I never and still have yet to figure out what department of post-production I appreciate the most. I've done some like I've done some like visual effects. I've put like TV. Well, actually, I didn't do the TV pilot, but I've put projects together. And so when I graduated early, I kind of didn't really know where to look. I didn't know if I wanted to go corporate. I didn't know if I wanted to go creative. And so I've spent the majority of the past couple of months just going out to lunches with connections that I have through parents or friends. And so that's how I actually I secured a connection with a girl, with a woman, Jane Konecki. I think a few people may know who she is. Was part of Interstate Batteries, and she had some connections to Texas Instruments. And so I've been trying to secure a more like 9 to 5 compared to being like freelance or like contract based. And just because of my naivete, I have not really found success yet into how to format my job searching. Because I struggle with how to explain me as a brand, like as like what my goals are. And so like I've been to a few things like this where I just listen to see how I can brand myself and less of like I've yet to reach the point where I can produce. Yeah.
So Mason, this is Alkeisha online. Can you spell your name for me? I'm going to also put you in touch with Brenda.
And Mason, this is Sally Bennix. Reach out to me because I happen to know one of the guys on the communications teams at Texas Instruments. I used to go to church with them.
Awesome. Yeah, I already searched up your LinkedIn. I was about to add you. My name's Mason, and then my last name is Knight, Knight in shining armor.
I like it. That could be part of your branding.
Just
You're on LinkedIn, correct?
Just based on what you were saying, I recommend a coach. You might want to get a coach to help you decide. I know the name of a guy. He's pretty reasonable in his prices, but his methodology is step one is to know yourself. And I think you're in that arena right now, saying, let me understand what I love to do, what I like to do, what I'm enjoying. You go back through whatever history, your schoolwork or whatever it might be, so that you can then say, okay, here are my potential targets and here's the things that I could do. And it can also help you with connections and contacts. So you can find me on LinkedIn, and my Yahoo email address is up there. I usually reserve it for the workshop, but send me that. And by the way, if anybody wants to connect with me, send me a message. I usually ignore the rest. And if you don't have enough messages, send me an email and say, hey, well, I want to connect with you. Here's what I learned about you. Connections are connections. If you're interested in me and you say, well, gee, I learned about you here or something like that, that comes across a lot stronger than you took all that energy and effort to click a button. And so the button does not impress me very much. And so I don't like contacts. I like connections. And so that's the way I kind of work. So I have to practice what I preach.
All right. Anybody else? We can take one or two more questions if anybody has anything. Questions, topics? So for everybody who's online, what's the toughest part of your job search right now? What do you think is the toughest part?
That's the easiest thing to answer. No response from people.
Anybody else?
The glacial speed at which companies work.
Yes. Anybody else online?
This is Florence. It's not a toughest thing, but one thing that I'd like to get information on is working with thank you letters and how to respond after you've had an interview. That could really help me out. I don't know, Rosina, do you have anything on that particular? I know you've been posting a lot of information, but do you have anything like on writing a really good thank you letter that's gonna kind of nail the interview process?
Let me take a look in the samples that because there are samples on careerdfw.org
Is there a section called thank you letters under Chris?
there's just a lot of stuff, a lot of information. I don't think there's a section directly at thank you letters, but there's a lot of information. Hang on, let me pull up the link real quick.
Yeah, because that's an area that I could use some help is just the follow up after the interview, kind of tips on how to follow up after an interview.
I think most thank you notes after the interview should be short and enthusiastic. Really enjoyed meeting you. Really, even mention a topic or two that was in the session that you did in the interview. Go ahead.
Okay, that's just what I was going to say. Thank you, Jeff.
Good, we're talking the same thing.
Yeah, no, that's very true. Very true. It is a pattern. So you obviously thank them for their time. This is John Hamer, by the way. Thank them for their time. Reemphasize your enthusiasm for the position, interest for the position and the company, and then always make sure to mention two things. One is one of the skills that you have that will help them, in one of the topics that they discussed, one of their pain points or whatever, and how you could help. And then boom, done, like a paragraph and a half. And then, not a call to action for them, but your call to, if I don't hear from you in a week, 2 weeks or so, I'll contact you.
Yeah.
See where we are. But those are kind of the three main things. But yeah, make sure that you connect with them, something you specifically talked about in the interview, and so you're taking good notes during the interview about what you discussed.
So something that you specifically talked about, and then what else did you mention? What were the other two?
Just thank them for their time.
Yeah.
And reemphasize your enthusiasm for the position.
Okay.
And how you would be a great fit.
Okay.
In the workshop.
Go ahead, Walt.
In the workshop that I offer, I have a handout and it also has a couple of tips on thank you notes. Tip number one, send rapidly, quickly within 24 hours. Find out, send it to them. If you can get their email address or you want to find out that. So part of this is perspective to the interview. So if in the interview you ask, when will I hear back from someone and who will it be? Then you, in your thank you note, you can also talk about that date as well. But tip number one is tip number two is send to everybody you talk to. So if you walk in and you talk to a receptionist and you say hello to them or whatever it might be, you send that. If you're talking to an admin, if it's in person, you get them and you talk to them. Admins, if you're going in person for an interview, admins are going to vote on you. Okay, they're going to ask, the hiring person say, well, what do you think of this person? So you send it to everybody that you talk to. It's a part of it. Tip number three is, I would not say thank you for your time. I would say it was great talking with you. It was great sharing this time with you or something. Guess what? Every thank you note starts out with, thank you for taking the time to talk, and that gets boring. I mean, you see it a lot of times. So it's neutral or negative in a thank you note. So we want to go beyond that. So it was great talking with you. I enjoyed our conversation. I particularly liked, and somebody else was talking about a particular area, and it's given a compliment to the interviewer. Interviewers never get a compliment. Okay, I was glad you asked this. We talked about that. You might put in, since I have some ideas about how we might move forward with that. All right. So that you can also say, yeah, let's talk some more. And then you can still close with that. If you've gone with the date and time and who you contact, say, and if I don't hear from you in this time, I'm going to call you on this date and this time. And you call them and you leave a voicemail because they don't answer the phone. So you tell them then, okay, I'll call you here. I'm going to set another date and time. And it's going to be quick. We're not going to give them 2 weeks to notify us. We're going to give them 1, 2 days max. The fifth time you do that, you say, this is the last time I'm going to call you. The last time I'm going to talk to you. I'm still interested in the job. I'm excited about it. And would love to hear from you or whatever. And if they have you on the list, they're going to call you. If you're not on the list, they're not going to call you.
Yeah, well, one of the things is that she did say, because I spoke with the hiring manager, and the one thing that she said was that um, the HR person would be getting back with me, but that she was out this week on PTO, but that I should hear back from her, this next week, that she
Okay.
would with me. So she did tell me, the hiring manager did tell me, gave me the protocol
There
on
you go.
process that.
Do you know how to contact that person?
Oh yes, I have the information for
Okay.
the,
So you give them a week or whatever, a few days.
Yeah.
How do you contact them?
well, I have the option of contacting them via email or she's been texting me. So I've been in contact with the recruiter through text. So that's her form of contacting me. So if I don't hear back from her, then I can text her because that's how she's been communicating with me predominantly.
Has
She
she
has,
told you specifically use text?
I mean, I can use emails. I mean, but I just noticed that she's initiated text messages whenever she's needed to communicate with me. But I can communicate with the recruiter via email as well.
Okay. Well, communications levels in person, call, email, text.
Okay.
Shoot for the highest. If you can go in and see her, talk to them or him, whoever it is, that call, go ahead and give them a call. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so you can call and text. Okay.
Yeah.
But wouldn't it be nicer to call if you could get a short conversation with them? So go for that. But you still have to do it on their agenda, the way they do it and how they prefer it. And so you certainly will follow that. But that's good.
Yeah.
So many people ask me, I don't know when to call them back. I said, well, ask them.
Yeah.
Who should I contact you? Who should I contact?
Yeah.
And that's
Well,
part of the close process.
right. Well, I can call the recruiter. do have her phone number. And so I just need to confirm the email for the, I mean, I'm going to follow the format, the email for the hiring manager. I'm assuming that she'll get the email, but I'll have to follow up with the recruiter to confirm that she's received it because I've had to kind of guess, based on the format that they use on sending out thank you notes. And they have gotten them in the past. So I just, um, well, I'm definitely I'll call probably, I don't, if she's been on PTO all this week, I don't know whether I should call her like on Monday, because I know she's probably going to be crazy on that day, but maybe Tuesday, call her on Tuesday and follow up with her on Tuesday.
Mornings, not Friday afternoons.
Yeah. Yeah, I just know that, for instance, I did want like another different interview. I called the recruiter back and I waited a few days, to give her time. And then I called her and she was like, I just got back from PTO. I haven't had a chance to look at it. So it's two different recruiters who've been on PTO. So
Ask. Okay, when's a good time for me to call you?
yeah.
This is Phil. Let me dovetail on what you just said. Walt said open-endedly, when's a good time for me to call you? I'm not a trained sales guy, but I can tell you that what I have heard about it is that rather than leave it that open-ended, suggest a time. Instead of when can I call you? Say, okay, let's see, this is Friday. Let me give you a call Tuesday. How does 11 o'clock sound? So they have, it's a binary choice there. Either that'll work or it won't. Sir?
I vote for that.
He votes for that. So I've got Walt's support. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Rebecca, last question.
Sorry for the delay getting off of mute there. Florence, just to also follow up, when I send a thank you email, again, customizing it to the individual that you spoke about. But hopefully when you go in, you've got like your own like little tagline that differentiates you from everyone else and how you're selling yourself. But I always send it the day after to remind them, again, building on what Walt said, still within the 24 hours, but then the day after. And I've received a lot of feedback from recruiters who I've interviewed with when I do send an email and I put in the subject line, checking in, dash, and then whatever the role was. And being, professional about it, but just, we met a couple on this date, following up, to see what else I can provide to you if there are any other questions. But what I learned in learning and development, because that's my field, send it between after Tuesday, like at noon, and before Thursday, before noon, because kind of what they're saying, people are getting ready for the weekend or they're coming back from the weekend. And that will be the lowest open rate, just when I've had to tag things.
Well, I don't have much of a choice. I have to send it today in order to make it within a certain time frame. So if I wait till next week, it'll be too late.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, then definitely do it, hopefully soon, not like at 3 or 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
But, following up, and then you can send another follow-up again next week. Just I
Okay.
wouldn't do it on Monday or Tuesday.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Well, I want to thank everybody for being part of Open Forum today. Next Friday, our speaker will be Jim McConnell. He's going to talk about guarding your career search, navigating security, and avoiding scams. So join us next Friday for that. This video will get posted to the YouTube channel tomorrow. Click on playlist when you go to the Career USA YouTube channel, and then click on view full playlist, and you'll see all the past speakers we've had over the last several years, and you can go back and download and watch. You can watch any of the videos you want at your convenience. Just remember, the speakers will start about 30 minutes into the video. Next Tuesday for LinkedIn Tuesday, join Kurt Vondermatter will be with us to talk about LinkedIn from a recruiter's eye, how he's trying to find you. So come join us next Tuesday at 1 o'clock. The practice interview team will be meeting in person next week right here at Christ United Methodist Church. Come watch a practice interview. You'll learn a lot, as much as you are when you actually interview. And then next week, as we talked about guarding your career search, navigating security and avoiding scams. Coming up on the 20th, in 2 weeks, Steve Zipkoff will be with us to talk about life lessons, how to achieve business and personal success. And then on the 27th, creating a personal pitch deck, which is people have found very informative. So It'll be a really good talk with Libby. Today we're going to go to Jason's Deli. How many people think they're going to go? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. People all show up, so make it 6. Whoever gets there, find a table for 6. Thanks everybody for joining today. Don't forget, tomorrow night, spring ahead 1 hour. Set your clocks ahead, otherwise you'll be late to church on Sunday. Or you'll be early. Let's see here. What will you be? So have a great weekend, everybody, and we will see you all next week.